There is an AI out there that is not getting the recognition that it deserves, and it's not getting enough coverage. So I wanted to be sure to bring this up to your attention, and that's Mistral.AI. This is a French-based AI, and their newest iteration is a real powerhouse as far as capabilities and being able to really increase your overall capabilities. So that's LeChat. So this new iteration of Mistral AI really gives a lot to us. So I'm going to break it down. I'm going to give you an overview of it to show you what it can do and how it compares to ChatGPT. So if you're like me, you've heard about Mistral AI, but it wasn't that big of a deal. But let me tell you that it is really a big deal now. Mistral AI, it comes to us from France. It's put together by three different people. They are the founders. They came to us from Meta AI as well as from Google's DeepMind. So from there, they put together Mistral, and now it is a real powerhouse. They recently updated their capabilities. Now it has all sorts of enhancements such as web search with citations, an area for inline editing that I'll show you here in a second, the capability to create images, full documentation, and much faster responses. This is an interesting chart that they have up on their website where you can go in and see, again, a lot of different comparisons here with ChatGPT. And there's some really cool and interesting stuff as far as what's free, what's not. And it really stacks up really well against ChatGPT. As far as data safety and security, it's pretty much on par with everything else where you can delete your content as well. And there's even more capabilities if you're a paid subscription. It also has much more as far as agents capability data sets, but that comes with a paid subscription. So I'm not going to cover that. What I want to focus on is the free capabilities, which is tremendous. It is very much on par with ChatGPT. You go in, it has a very similar type of interface here. You can ask LeChat, which is their ChatGPT implementation. You can go in and ask it any type of question, but the big thing I want to show you first is that it breaks things down into three different aspects. It has Canvas, web search, and image generation. So these are three different things, and that affects the way that it'll give you back the information. I'm going to start off by just showing you the capabilities of image generation, and wow, it's really powerful. It can create really good images. This is because it's using Black Forest Labs Flux tools. So this is their model for image generation, which is very similar and on par with DALL-E 3, which is what ChatGPT uses. So yeah, powerful image creation, very detailed, very sophisticated. And from that, it can also do things like understand what it's created, what it's looking at. So I asked it to create a story based off of that image. And the story that it came up with, very powerful, very compelling, a great little short story talking about what's going on with the image, and again, making it an exciting thing to go through. So its ability to manipulate language and to create actual content is very similar to the capabilities of ChatGPT. And again, this is a free offering. So they have a free offering. They will probably have subscription based in the future. Right now, this is mainly in beta as far as their LeChat is concerned. But the way that it's looking is that it's going to be similar again to ChatGPT. But it doesn't end there, in that you can do so much more with it. So if we go into Canvas, this is where it's specifically designed to let you be able to interact with whatever it creates. So I'm going to give it this. I'm going to say, please assume the role of a university instructional designer, create a rubric for my reflective essay assignment, have 4 different criteria, and then I go through and I list it as if I was making a rubric within ChatGPT. Exact same thing. I do that, and sure enough, it creates really great information that will save me time if I'm doing this from scratch. But the really powerful and interesting kind of new thing here is this inline editing. So I can go to anywhere within my output, the response that it gave me, and I can click on it and say, hey, change something here. So in this case, I'll say, hey, add this, and it'll go through and sure enough, just simply add that to right there. It doesn't have to regenerate everything. It just goes through and puts that in there. I'll give you another example. I'll go in further down here and I'll say, hey, I want another bullet here, and put this information in. And sure enough, it simply quickly adds that in. So that is really powerful. And that's something for us to really take into account as far as more and more people, to include students, will now be able to use an AI in this way where they're doing inline editing. So you can see how some of the distinctions between someone using AI on one level and then their interactions with it, their contributions to it, are going to be more and more sort of blurred together, especially if I'm able to do things in line. So that's something to at least consider when we're talking about who's doing what. Well, what part are you associated with this? So this needs to then lead us to thinking about our assignments in themselves, because now we can do inline editing with the AI output itself and continue to have this conversation. So again, more things to consider. From here, I can also go through and say, hey, I really like this. Now change the format. So put this into a spreadsheet and it will quickly and easily go in and do that. Very nicely put together, makes it so that it saves me time. I can also go in, again, similar to ChatGPT, where I can click this arrow here and it'll bring out the overall menu. So I can see sort of my history. I can do searching within my history. I can go in and adjust settings as well. So there's a lot here with LeChat, right? In that it is very powerful. One of the big things that I'm always trying to push is for us to know the tools that are out there. That's part of AI literacy, is to know what tools are available to us, what might work better in certain things, or if I'm using free tiers, maybe I might run out of accessibility to one of my AIs. So in that case, if I run out of time or credits or something like that, I can switch over to another comparable one. So ChatGPT is great in general. That's the one that I generally recommend because it's a market leader. But this one has come out. There's been several different reviews that have come from this new iteration of Mistral AI in their LeChat and have made it pretty much comparable to ChatGPT right now as far as its overall capabilities, its multilingual capabilities, multimodal capabilities. You saw how it could create images. So there's a lot going on here. I really want to push that out to you because it is a free, highly capable AI that you can use. Now, Mistral AI, they've been around for a little bit from 2023, and they've pushed out a couple of open source AIs as well, and now this one though is closed source, so they do a lot of different things. The big thing here is that this is another tool. This is another tool that's available to you, and it's also available to your students. So everyone has access. So another big thing for us to have a tool in our toolbox, a feather in our hat to be able to utilize. Test these out on your own. Test it to see what you like about it. Maybe this is one that you'll go to. Maybe this might be your main one. The big thing that I like to do and I recommend is when I use ChatGPT and it gives me a response, of course, I'll check that response. But then if it's some sort of write-up, I might go to another AI and say, hey, give me a response, and then I can compare the two. I might like one more than the other. Now I have multiple choices as far as using Claude or using Gemini and now Let's Chat. So another tool available there for you. Please tell me what you think. Test it out. See what you have to say. I'm really interested in my use. I think it's very comparable. I agree with a lot of the other reviews that it is pretty powerful and it's really pushing ChatGPT to do even more. So we'll see what happens with that. So leave a comment, leave a like, please subscribe, and please let other people know so that we can continue to grow this channel. Thank you, everyone. And remember, learning is for life.